a Tuesday, a spirited practice out there a little bit today after a win.
Yeah, it's the best coaching you can do is win a game at the weekend and come into training and the guys bring the energy and I think we've been playing some really good stuff and not been able to get results, and I think this game against San Diego we were able to put forth another really good performance and get a great result, and so I think that's inspiring to the group.
After the game, you talked about Diego being the guy, and that first goal kind of was the whole vision of what you said: defense, turn the offense, creative. I mean, he's kind of taking his game to the next level this season.
He is. It's been a long journey for him. The first 6 months he was here, he wasn't getting a lot of reps, and I was just saying, the most important part of our defending is the guys up front, and when they commit to the defending, we'll win balls higher up the field, and you guys will score goals. And so I think that play has been years in the making, but I think what Diego's been able to do year over year has been really dig deep and continue to reinvent himself. He came here as a really technical player. Now he's a very much a cerebral player with a lot of bite, and these players are rare, especially when you have the type of quality that Diego has. So I couldn't be more proud of his growth and his commitment to his craft, and the sky's the ceiling for him.
So you've been preaching the guys need to get further up the field and there need to be more guys. So when Sam Juvat scores that goal, is that the thing that you play back for the team and like, this is what we're talking about, guys?
It's different games have different vibes, but the truth is when we're having a tough time scoring goals, the more numbers that you get in the box, the better chances are of deflections, of rebounds, and not everything has to be a programmed play on the training field. There's so many different bounces that go your way, but I think Juvat being in that position is exactly what we're talking about. And now the execution, that's all Sam Juvat. I mean, it was a classy finish.
So the camera was on you when you were walking off at halftime, and we could read the lips, and you were clearly not in a good place. I wondered if you were upset about the call or upset about the decisions that put the team in a bad place.
Just a little bit of everything, to be honest with you. I think we've lost a couple games back to back, and for me, fear just didn't exist for me on the soccer field. That was the one place where it just doesn't even it shouldn't exist on the soccer field. You're playing a sport for a living, and I just felt we were a bit tentative in the first half, and then obviously the call I thought was a really soft PK, and so the culmination of both of those, just knowing that we needed a different mindset for the second half, and just really proud of the way the guys started the second half and finished the second half.
When Gozo was in early in the year, it might have been the Champions League game, he had like 3 chances to go down the right side, cross the ball in, and the first time he did it was great, the next 2 he sprayed up in the stands. I couldn't help but notice just a few months later, and maybe you've seen this all along in training, but he had 3 chances sending a ball against San Diego, and I thought they were all like just really good balls in, really dangerous and spot on. Have you seen that kind of growth, or is that some kind of breakthrough?
No. Gozo's been working his tail off to put himself in a position to play for this group, and we give out the belt every day after training, and he's won probably 4 of the last 10 belts, and to me, and a few of those are selected by his teammates. So he's making great strides on both sides of the ball. Defensively, he just wasn't up to speed for quite some time, and now he's turning into a Luna where he's just making plays defensively as well. So on both sides of the ball, Gozo's doing a really, really good job for us.
He seems like he's a really good teammate too, because I think maybe his most important role last week was he was Luna's #1 hype man on both of his goals. Running over and shouting and screaming.
No, I think the youthfulness of Gozo is fantastic, and I think that's what makes him really unique. An absolute team guy that wants the team to win, and I don't think there's a happier person in the locker room after the game than Gozo. Finishing the game, playing all 90 minutes, putting a great performance, and seeing his teammates be successful. So, Gozo's been fantastic.
Veteran locker room piece in Johnny Russell. How huge is that to have for you guys now?
It's amazing. Again, it feels a lot like when Chicho first came to the group, where he hasn't even contributed on the field yet, but his presence is palpable. And I think, just again reading Steve Jobs' book, where he says A players love playing with A players, and he just brings up the level just by his presence. And so really looking forward to getting him on the field. You know, his physical metrics have been beyond what we expected, so there's a great chance he's going to contribute to this game at the weekend.
And then you saw Willie come off the bench. Talk about his performance coming right.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because for me it was just the little things that Willie did, which is hold the ball up, and you know, it was another feeling on the sidelines, and I'm sure the guys on the field felt the same way, where a couple of balls were pinged into him, and he brought them down and brought the group into the game, and that's something that we haven't had this year. And then obviously the opportunity he had at the top of the box. So just his hold-up play is an added bonus to our group, and then obviously it's going to take him some time to get used to the way we want to play. But I think he brings a lot of good individual skill sets that are going to help our group right out of the gate.
I saw Johnny high-fiving guys after practice. I asked him if he ever envisioned that in an RSL jersey, high-five on RSL players. He said no. But I mean, how's he fit in with the group?
Yeah, no, I think he's a rare personality. You know, I think he's in this age where everyone is so careful to speak, to express their authentic selves because of what people might say or what social media might say. He's a bit from the old school where he just doesn't care what anyone thinks, and he's going to be authentic to who he is. He's a real positive guy, a hardworking guy, and obviously a captain for SKC for many years. So that is what we've been sorely missing. So again, not only excited to get him in with the group, but also to get him in with the leadership group, because that energy, I think, will breed more of that.
Does his fitness suggest he might be available for more than 30 minutes, or is even 30 minutes a stretch given the fact he had surgery in the offseason?
Yeah, you know, again, I think we'll just go by the week of training and see how he feels. I think it's a bit premature, but like I said, I think he's exceeded our expectations from how he arrived physically, so that's always a bonus. And then again, I think for me, from my chair, it's just really important to put these guys in a position to be successful out of the gates. It's, you know, it's obviously we need them now, but the understanding as well that he hasn't had team training in 5 or 6 months. And you know, tomorrow's our big day, so we're going to really open up the legs and get after it, and there's no telling how he's going to feel after that. So we'll take everything into consideration, but really pleased by the way he's presented himself, both physically, you know, and then technically, and then obviously from a leadership perspective as well.
Just have no doubts about his leadership or his left foot. It's just a question of the fitness.
Yes.